Magnitude 0, zero point 0 to 1.9, microearthquakes. The most minute seismic occurrences that can be measured are known as microearthquakes, and their magnitudes typically range from 0.0 to 1.9 on the magnitude scale. The occurrence of these earthquakes is highly common and takes place daily all across the planet. In point of fact, thousands of microearthquakes occur every single day, particularly in seismically active regions such as California, Japan, and Indonesia. On the other hand, considering how weak they are, humans normally do not feel them. Seismographs, which are extremely sensitive devices, are the only ones that can detect them. They are a part of the continuous shifting and settling of the Earth's crust, and they do not cause any damage or disruptions to the underlying structure. Magnitude 2.0 to 2.9. Minor earthquakes. When the magnitude of an earthquake falls between 2.0 and 2.9, it is still considered to be of a modest magnitude. You may experience a slight vibration if you are inside and particularly still, such as when you are resting in bed or sitting comfortably. When these tremors occur, they are sometimes misunderstood as being caused by a huge truck driving by or a door slamming shut. Even though they are marginally more powerful than microearthquakes, they rarely result in any structural damage or panic. On the other hand, they serve as helpful indicators for scientists who are monitoring seismic patterns or foreshocks in advance of a more significant earthquake. Every year, there are about 1 million little earthquakes of this magnitude that occur all across the planet on average. Magnitude 3.0 to 3.9, light earthquakes. Earthquakes in the 3.0 to 3.9 range are usually felt by people, especially those near the epicenter. At this level, shaking is noticeable but short-lived and rarely causes any harm. People indoors may feel walls or floors vibrate, windows might rattle, and hanging objects can sway slightly. Still, they pose no threat to buildings or infrastructure. These light earthquakes are common in places like Southern California, where residents are used to small tremors. Globally, there are around 130,000 such events recorded each year. While they're not dangerous, they serve as a reminder that the Earth is always moving. Magnitude 4.0 to 4.9, moderate and noticeable quakes. Once an earthquake reaches a magnitude of 4.0, it becomes more broadly felt and can startle communities. These quakes can be strong enough to wake people up, shake furniture, and even crack walls in poorly constructed buildings. Vibrations last longer, often up to several seconds. While damage is usually minimal, the experience can be quite alarming. Earthquakes in this range can be dangerous near the epicenter, especially in older structures not built to seismic codes. For instance, a 4.8 magnitude earthquake can knock objects off shelves and may be followed by aftershocks. These types of quakes remind cities to maintain readiness and emergency plans. Magnitude 5.0 to 5.9, moderate earthquakes with some damage. Earthquakes measuring between 5.0 and 5.9 are classified as moderate and can cause actual damage in populated areas. At this level, shaking can be strong enough to damage older buildings, break windows, topple furniture, and trigger localized panic. People outdoors may see power lines sway or feel cars rock back and forth. A good example is the 5.4 magnitude earthquake in Batangas, Philippines in 2017, which caused structural damage, power outages, and aftershocks that lasted for days. Earthquakes in this range are serious enough to disrupt daily life and raise awareness of the importance of seismic resilience. Magnitude 6.0 to 6.9, strong earthquakes with widespread impact. When an earthquake reaches a magnitude between 6.0 and 6.9, it transforms into a force that has the potential to cause massive destruction, particularly in urban areas. These powerful earthquakes have the potential to cause significant damage to structures, roads, bridges, and other forms of infrastructure. In hilly regions, there is a possibility that landslides could be caused, gas leaks and fires will occur, and power outages will become more widespread. 1 minute is the maximum amount of time that the shaking can last, and it can be felt hundreds of kilometers away. With a magnitude of 6.7, the Northridge earthquake that occurred in Los Angeles in 1994 was responsible for 57 fatalities, thousands of injuries, and more than $20 billion worth of property damage. With a magnitude of this magnitude, earthquakes require a rapid emergency response and have the potential to leave long-term scars on the populations that are impacted. Magnitude 7.0 to 7.9 major earthquakes. Magnitude 7.0 to 7.9 earthquakes are considered major events and are capable of causing catastrophic destruction, especially near densely populated areas. These quakes can collapse buildings, destroy highways, disrupt communication networks, and lead to thousands of casualties. The 2010 Haiti earthquake, which measured 7.0, is a tragic example. Over 230,000 people lost their lives, and the capital city of Port-au-Prince was nearly flattened. Shaking from such earthquakes can last over a minute and be followed by intense aftershocks. Their impact is felt both physically and psychologically, often requiring international aid and long-term rebuilding efforts. Magnitude 8.0 to 8.9. Great earthquakes. Earthquakes in this magnitude range are referred to as great earthquakes, and for good reason. These massive quakes are capable of altering coastlines, triggering tsunamis, and affecting regions hundreds or even thousands of kilometers away. The energy released is staggering, equivalent to detonating hundreds of nuclear bombs. The 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake measuring 9.1 unleashed a devastating tsunami that killed over 230,000 people across 14 countries. While 8.0 plus earthquakes are rare, when they strike, they leave a permanent mark on history. Their effects are not just local, they can be global, even altering the Earth's rotation slightly. Magnitude 9.0 to 9.9. Extreme earthquakes. These are among the most powerful forces our planet can unleash. Earthquakes in the 9.0 to 9.9 range cause massive devastation, not just through ground shaking, but through the tsunamis and infrastructure collapses they trigger. The 2011 Tohoku earthquake in Japan, at 9.1 magnitude, caused the infamous Fukushima nuclear disaster, killed over 15,000 people, and displaced hundreds of thousands. The sheer power released can shift entire tectonic plates and move islands by several meters. Buildings crumble, harbors vanish, and entire cities can be wiped off the map. These are generational events, once-in-a-century catastrophes that change the course of nations. Magnitude 10.0 plus. Theoretical maximum. In all of recorded history, there has never been an earthquake that has achieved a magnitude of 10.0 or higher. But according to scientific theory, such a quake is theoretically possible. To cause an earthquake with a magnitude greater than 10.0, it would be necessary to breach an entire main fault line, which might potentially run for thousands of kilometers. The amount of energy that would be released would be incomprehensible, and it would most likely be able to cause tsunamis all across the world and shake the entire planet. In the event that it took place offshore, the effects may be felt throughout numerous continents. Because there is no known fault that is large enough to support such an earthquake, there are some scientists who believe that the geology of the globe makes the probability of such an earthquake less likely. In spite of this, a magnitude 10 or higher earthquake might take place as a result of the collision of huge plates such as the Pacific and Eurasian. However, this is still considered a catastrophic event. Thanks for watching. If you found this video informative, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell